Hello, I'm Brittany Peterson. I just wanted to create a couple of videos to aid in injury prevention, and I think a huge part of that is doing regular core. And I have run into this before where I was doing core diligently, but I was not doing it correctly. So I think that's this intro video is really looking at pelvis positioning and making sure that we are engaging core and engaging glutes. So I think the first part of this is really looking at our pelvis. So if we're not paying attention, we can dump our pelvis forward. So you can see I'm sticking my butt out. And if you try that, you can feel that when you're dumping your pelvis forward, I have turned off my glutes. So if I am tucked, if my pelvis is tucked in, my core automatically turns on, my glutes automatically turn on. A thing that you can do to help is if you're not sure if you're dumping or if you're tucked, you can take kinesio tape, so any type of KT tape, rock tape, whatever, and you can, find your most tucked position and put tape from the bottom of your ribs across your belly button, hooking on the top of your pelvis. Same thing here, down across to that top of your pelvis, so that if you lose it, it stretches. And when you have it, you have that feedback. So you can use that taping to kind of help keep that tucked pelvis positioning. Because think about when we now run, that's a much more dynamic process where it's easy to lose that core activation. And that's when we start running into troubles like hamstring overuse. So we have that pain and tendonitis issues, things like that. So I think that's the foundation, because not only do we want to think about that when we're running, but we want to think about that when we are doing core exercises. So a big thing to start with is, if we're not sure, we can think about when we're doing core exercises, if I arch my back and I can put things all the way through, I am not engaging. So I want to tuck that in, which makes sure, I'm flat under here. I cannot get my hand underneath there, which then automatically tightens lower core, automatically makes me engage my glutes. So we can advance that. So if we're not sure, I think starting out is just engage lower core, squeeze your fingers underneath your lower back, and then we can add various things like extending your leg out without losing that. So constantly work to keep that lower core tight. So another example would be thinking about, that applies to every position that we're in. We want to constantly keep lower core tight, which turns on glutes, which gets our pelvis, positioned back where we're fully tucked. So if I was doing fire hydrants, it's so easy to think, I need to just do these, which right here, so you can see if I face this way, maybe if I move my arm, you can see how much rotation I'm having. I'm exaggerating. So that means that my core is not activated. So really what I want to do is first I'm going to find that tucked position that turns on lower core, that turns on glutes, and now I'm going to find glute. So see that that's such a small range of motion, but it really is getting more bang for my buck because I'm doing it properly. So I had core activated, glutes are turned on. Now I can actually isolate the muscles that I want to isolate. All right, so stay tuned for actual core workouts, but remember that that is the foundational principle.